Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we are going to make another necklace using our Thunder Horse Descendant Inspiration Bundle spiral bubble knitting. So this one's going to be a pretty heavy-duty necklace, statement piece kind of thing. So let's turn down and I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, we have got some blue topaz soft flex beading wire. Now, frankly, for this piece, I would have preferred heavy, but I don't have any heavy wire, so we're going to just go with the medium. We've got the plastic chain. We've got from my stash a nice big lobster claw. That's because these are big links, so we want a big one. So, a couple of, well, 4 crimp tubes. Actually, come to think of it, no, 4 is good. And then we've got these India glass beads from out of the little India glass box. These 2 I'm going to put up with this because I'm going to double crimp this. But when I double crimp it, I like to put an extra bead between the crimps so it gives it a little more flash and stuff. And then here are all our spacers. These spacers are all from my stash. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the Ammonite. It's our focal. It's going to go right down at the base. Then we'll have spacers, the green, then the teardrop, then the rondelle, then the big blue guy, and then one of these really cool beads. Look at this, they have a twist in them. I think they're really neat. So anyway, those will go there, and these will go on the opposite side over here. Same pattern. Now these aren't a lot of beads, but they're big chunky beads, so they're really gonna take up some space. So this is going to be a longer necklace. So let's get some wire out and we'll start stringing. Like I say, these are 4 in between. We're going to put 1 melon bead and then 3 of the daisy spacers between it and a melon bead on the other side, and that's going to go between each of the big beads. So let's get started. So the first thing to do is get some wire out. I'm going to work right off the spool. I know exactly how we're going to do this, so I'm going to just get some wire out, put a bead stopper on this side, and then we're going to start with a melon bead. Just the 1 melon bead, because it would be at the end of the space if we didn't. Then we're going to put on this guy, and then we're going to do start with our spacer pattern, which is the melon, 3 daisies, and the melon goes down there, and then next bead. I like this big chunky blue one. Melon, 3 spacers. Now these spacers have a pretty good size hole, and if you wanted to, you could put something in to fill them. I'm not going to this time around. I think they'll be fine. These have big holes too, so I think the only ones that don't have really pretty good size holes are the little melon beads. here we are at the halfway point of our bead strand. We feed it into this big old ammonite. Isn't that pretty? It's coming along quite nicely, I think. So now back onto the other side. I like this spacer pattern. Because these were so big, it needed something big, but at the same time, I didn't want to use something atrociously huge, though frankly, I don't have anything that's atrociously huge, so I guess that would make a difference too. But I think this spacer pattern is really nice and really complements the beads. And now we're done with our stringing, as you can see. And this is actually pretty long all on its own, so let's see how long. I need a bead stopper. I don't want to take the chance of dropping this strand of beads over here. So, looks like it's about 12.5 inches. So depending on how long you want it, you know, how long we're going to make the chain. I will probably cut part of the chain off because it is going to be really long. But we're going to start this side off by, or finish this side off by putting on a crimp and then one of these blue beads. Oh, our crimp just went right into it. That could be a problem. Because we don't want to lose our crimp inside our beads. Well, we'll put this crimp tube on anyway, and we are going to, and I'm going to go see if I can find a slightly smaller bead here. Okay, I've got some green ones. It's slightly different green from these, but that's all right because these blues are all different colors too. I'm not sure still that this hole is small enough for the crimp bead, but we will find out just in a moment. Dang, it still went right over the top of it, even with this smaller bead. Well, now that one didn't. Wonder if I can find one with the smaller hole like this. Well, let's hope so. But in the meantime, I am going to just do this one up first. Let's show you what we're doing. Hopefully I can find one to match, or I'm going to be really sorry. So what we're going to do is we go like that. Put one crimp, then the bead in another crimp. Go through our chain like we normally would. Then we're going to go through both the crimps and the bead. And we'll pull it up. And now we're going to crimp both of those crimps, starting with the one closest to the chain. And we'll just get those in the crimp pliers and give them a squeeze and turn it and give it another squeeze. Now we're going to push these beads up and we're going to trim this extra wire off right here. And push all this over to this side. Oops, sorry, forgot to do our second crimp. So used to doing just one. So what we want to do is get this one close to the green bead and get the crimping pliers in there again. Slide it up as tight as you can and crimp. And then go around and do your crimp bead till it's finished. And then see, this is between your two crimps. Now we'll slide them over. And we'll cut this wire right here. And we'll just put one of the crimp beads on for right now and put our bead stopper back on, because we're going to have to go see if we can't find another little bead with a slightly smaller hole. Okay, I do have another green bead. It's slightly lighter than the other one, but I think it's going to work. So put this on here and put another crimp tube on. And I could have given myself a teeny touch more wire there. Now I'm going to find the other end. I doubt if I'm not going to leave it this long, but I'm just going to do one side and then the other, and then we'll decide on our length, cut it, and put the lobster claw in. So let's get this through our beads. And you can see why I said I should have cut it just a little longer, because it's got a bigger loop than would normally be in my wire, because of that big. Come on, you. Okay. Now, because this is short, it's biting me. It doesn't want to go into this second crimp, so I've got my pliers out to help it. Now it's through the second crimp. And we're going to try and get it through the melon bead here before we try to pull it the rest of the way up, which isn't very much, as you can see. There we go. There we go. I think that's probably about the same size of loop from the other side. Pretty darn close. So we want to crimp this first one. But first let's make sure we got our wires all not got any gap in them, which they don't appear to, so that's good. So now we'll get our crimp pliers out and we'll do this first crimp. Okay, once we got the first one done, we'll roll down here and get the second one. Now we'll cut our extra wire off here. Now that we've got it all strung up, our choice is how long do we want this to be. Let's face it, with this, all this cord in here, you could just pull it over your head because it's big and very long. So our choice is how long. So it could go over your head easily, but I don't want it that long. So right now it is 12. It's almost 40 inches because that's another 7 and the 12 makes 19. 19 and 19 is 38. We definitely don't want 38 inches. So I think I'm going to cut out 12 inches of it, but we need to see where that would make it be. So 12 inches would be 6. So we're going to cut out about right here. So we'll get our flush cutters out. Just make sure we get the right spot now. Put those together. 6 inches out would be here. So we'll cut this spot. And then we'll cut, come on baby, where are you at? Where's my cut? Right there. So we'll also cut this one. Whoop, don't go away, baby. Okay, there's the one link out. And this should be where I've got the other cut at. It is, there it is. So then we cut this again to finish getting this link out. Okay, and now we have about 11 inches of extra chain for whatever we want to use it for. So now that we've got this baby all cut, we're going to get a big lobster claw out and hook onto the, I mean not a lobster claw, but a jump ring. And we should have a big gold one here somewhere. There they are. So take the big gold, take this guy, and we will hook our lobster claw to one side. Then I got to decide if I want to like put a little dangle on the other side or something to pretty it up some, so to speak. Could use one of those. There, we'll put this on here, and there is our necklace all done. Now if you wanted it quite a bit shorter, you could take your lobster claw and put it wherever you want it to. Of course, if you put it that low, it's going to be in the front with chain dangling down. How long is that? That's probably about 18 inches right there. Actually, it's 24. So that might be something you might want to do if you were wearing it. So I am going to make one of these blue ones into a little dangle, so it can dangle right here. So maybe it needs a bigger one too, so that it can have be a little bit more emphatic. So I'm going to go find a bigger one. We'll be right back. Okay, I've got a large ball head, then I've got the melon bead and one of these big spacers. I changed the small cobalt for a slightly bigger one. And then we'll put the other spacer on, and then I got also this little sky blue one. So won't that make a pretty dangle? So now we will get that dangle started. Now, since I plan on attaching this directly to the chain, I'm going to use the larger of our two sizes here. Bring her around and give her quite a good sized gap, because she's got to go through that last piece of chain there. There she is. Then we'll grab hold of where they go together. Now, one thing I try to tell everybody is push this second wire up, because otherwise it's going to want to wrap down lower on your base wire, and you don't want it to do that. And just carefully take her around where she's snugged up against the one right above. There is where we need to cut it. And then just tuck her in. And there she is, all finished, and with this nice dangle on the end of the chain in case you want to wear it so that your lobster claw is down here a ways. You can have it hang down the side here, like so. Or you can use it full length, and this will just be dangling down at the back of your neck. Any of these will work because this lobster claw is nice and big and goes wherever you want it to. So there we go. There is our necklace, all finished. Now it will hang, and the Ammonite does hang downwards. I did check that so that it wouldn't be just flipping all over the place. So there's how she looks with the I'll see if I can make this a little smaller so you can see the whole thing. There you go. So there we are. All done. So here is our necklace. See, it does hang like this. There's our little dangle, because I've got it not on the end piece. Isn't that cool? I think it turned out really pretty. I like it. I hope you do. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we made this lovely necklace using the India glass and the Ammonite and the plastic chain from Thunder Horse Descendant's Inspiration Bundle Spiral Bubble Netting. I think that turned out really cool.